Death is devoured, defeated, and de-fanged. Hello and happy Easter. Easter Sunday is the biggest, the loudest, and most joyful day in the Christian calendar, and for good reason, because Easter Sunday changes everything. Why? Because the stakes are eternal. Hello, I'm Malcolm Cox, by the way, and welcome to Quiet Time Coaching, episode 568, and a reflection a few days after Easter Sunday. You see, Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 15, "If Christ has not been raised, your faith is futile, and you are still in your sins." But, thank God, he doesn't stop there. He continues, "But in fact, Christ has been raised from the dead, the first fruits of those who have died." That's your guarantee and mine. See, our hope beyond the grave isn't wishful thinking. It's rooted in a historical, bodily resurrection. And you can kind of feel Paul's joy bursting off the page as he writes in verses 54 and 55, "Death has been swallowed up in victory. Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting?" In other words, death has been devoured, defeated, and de-fanged. And of course, there's lots of evidence for this. The resurrection of Jesus is supported by credible historical accounts, eyewitness testimony, and perhaps most powerfully, the transformation of Jesus' followers. William Lane Craig writes a lot about this, sums it up very well. It explains why the tomb was found empty, why the disciples saw appearances of Jesus alive, and why the Christian faith came into being. The resurrection makes sense of it all. It even explains why Christians began gathering on Sundays instead of the Jewish Sabbath. It's significant. Sunday was a work day in Roman society. Why would early believers, many of them slaves, choose to worship then, early in the morning or late at night? Unless something monumental had happened. Something like, the resurrection. Justin Martyr, early Christian writer, writing about 150 AD, he described Christians meeting on the first day of the week. That's a Sunday. Why? Because it's the day Jesus rose from the dead. A change that big doesn't happen unless the event behind it is even bigger. It happened. And what does it mean? It means hope. Not wishful thinking hope, but real grounded resurrection-powered hope. Without the resurrection, all the pain and the struggle of life would be meaningless. But with it, everything changes. John Mark Hicks puts it, "Jesus as incarnate God dispels the darkness through suffering and death, which inaugurates new creation through resurrection." Night is not going to last forever. Revelation 21, right? There'll be no more night. We are a new creation living at the moment in an old one and groaning, yes, but groaning with purpose, with hope. Tish Harrison Warren writes in her book, "Jesus' resurrection is the sole evidence that love triumphs over death, that beauty outlives horror, that the meek will inherit the earth, that those who mourn will be comforted." Only the resurrection gives us any hope for these things. Therefore, whatever your Easter weekend was like, as we're now 4 days on from Easter Sunday on the day of this going out, whatever your Easter weekend was like, or whatever the 4 days have been like since then, you're still living in the Easter afterglow, aren't we all as Christians? So therefore, whatever's happening today, you can rejoice because of the resurrection. You can sing because of the resurrection. You can celebrate because of the resurrection, because he is risen. He is risen indeed. So I hope and pray for you that today will be a day when you can rejoice in the hope that's been given to you because of Jesus' resurrection from the dead. May you live that hope. May you share that hope. May it be something that enlivens you and encourages you and inspires you to live a life worthy of the calling that you have received. And pray for me that I would live that too. Whatever else is happening, that I would live within and through the hope given me by the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So until the next time, take care and God bless. He is risen. He is risen indeed.